What's going on, everybody? This is Urzio99, and today we're going to be doing the fourth mission, A Friend in Need. This is in the Advanced Military Chain. Now this is going to be a little bit different. Today we're learning about repairing other ships, logistics. Now the tutorial will be laughably short, but the concept of remote repairing other people's ships, either through shields or armor, is generally known as logistics. Now, logistics is a very potent force multiplier because it allows ships to be incredibly effective in combat while being supported by when they take hostile fire. For example, on this fit, you notice I've fit a shield booster. Well, I'm by myself. I have to fit some type of repair module, especially if I was tanking armor, because at least shields passively regenerate over time. So when you're in a fleet, you are no longer, you're not burdened as much by having your own self-repair methods, because you have dedicated ships, including specialized cruisers known as logistics cruisers that can repair you. This allows you to focus more modules on your tank, upping your resistance, increasing the size of your shield reserves. For example, I could remove the small shield booster and instead replace it with a small shield extender, which gives me more shield HP. I could also be using that mid slot to add an additional shield hardener. For example, if I was wanting to omni-tank, I would want to increase my EM resistance, so I'd put an EM ward field in here so we can fix the resist hole. Now, in an organized gang, especially large fleets in nullsec, logistics, being well piloted, can be the difference between winning a battle and losing a battle. I primarily fly logistics in nullsec. I have a character with all the relevant skills at a 5, and he can fly a pretty mean scimitar. And I've clawed more than my fair share of ships back from the brink that they thought for sure they were going to lose them, and they didn't. So it keeps your combat pilots on the field longer, which means they can have the chance to deal more damage, which means your guys are the ones looting the wrecks at the end because you won. But anyway, this tutorial is ridiculously straightforward. They're going to give us a civilian remote shield transporter, which we will then use to repair a buddy of his. So we're going to drop off the gun, and we are going to replace it with the remote shield transporter. All the remote repair items, it should be noted, those all go into the high slots. They are all high power slot items. So go ahead and keep going to that bottom left. 2 years I've been going to the bottom left. Gotta break that habit. So, go ahead and find this guy. Don't think we'll find any pirates in here, but I'm taking guns just in case. Always helps to be prepared. Okay. There's the damaged vessel. Go ahead and approach the damaged vessel. Unlock the target. As you can see, range within 4,000 meters, 40 hit points transferred per 5 seconds. We're going to go ahead and close in. And begin ripping. Kind of hilarious. Fix his shields, yet it somehow makes systems operational. Right. So it vanished and we're done.
Warp drive active.
Congratulations, you're now Space Priest.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Okay, now that we've done that, mission. Right. Next mission. Oh boy. Okay, this mission is going to get real interesting. The next assignment is going to test your resolve and your ability to get back up again after being knocked down. Sending you to a much larger and better dedicated pirate base. This mission will sound up to least, but as soon as you take one of those pirates down, they'll start to call in reinforcements. We don't expect you to be able to handle them all by yourself. You just want to see how long you can last in there before being destroyed. I've been authorized to provide you with a combat frigate, but you'll have to fit it with your own module. I'd keep the fitting cheap. You're not expected to come out of this intact. You are expected to fight, however. Hit some guns and take down whatever you can. We expect you to score at least one kill, and we'll consider your assignment complete until then. In red letters. Stress this point. We want to see how long you can stay alive in there, so you're not going or not leave the area with your ship intact. You should lose the frigate I'm giving you. I don't want to see you losing a larger, more expensive ship on this test. There's a better lying around in your hangar. Don't get any ideas. Keep it there unless you want to lose it. He's going to give us the Condor. And we're going to get 74,000 ISK and 68,000 ISK. And since we're going to share this Condor, we're going to get another 30,000 ISK. Now, here we go. There are various situations in combat where you may end up putting your ship on the line and risking loss. Sometimes you may actually want someone to fire on you. Baiting. There are two important situations where you want to act as bait and draw fire from an enemy ship, or sometimes from a great number of them. Often you may risk your ship or even intend to lose it. Baiting, for example, would be bringing in a ship, for example, while scouting in nullsec. You bring in a ship that seems like a very tempting target. You get your enemies to fire upon it. And while they're so busy focused on taking you down in a ship that you've turned into a brick tank, they don't notice your allies slipping in to take out them. Stargate. Enemies who aggro you by activating offensive modules on your ship will be unable to use Stargates for a period of 30 seconds counting from your last act. Combined with some form of tackling, you can keep the aggressors pinned down for a short period, even if they are within jumping range of a Stargate. So, for example, you may have noticed some timers in the corner as I fight. One of the timers is an aggression timer that lasts for 60 seconds from your last hostile action. While under the effects of this timer, you cannot dock or use the Stargate. So if you can get enemy to fire on you, for whatever reason, they will not be able to dock until 1 minute after they stop firing on you. It's handy to know, but keep in mind that, for example, if you tackle them, it will be considered an act of aggression, and you will not be able to dock up or use the Stargate either. So it's always a two-edged sword with stuff like that. Drawing criminal flagging. Enemies who aggro you while not at a Concord sanctioned war with you will be criminally flagged. Along with an occurring drop in security status, this action also results in automated sentry guns on stations and Stargates firing on the aggressor. This countdown lasts for 15 minutes, but keep in mind there are no sentry guns around Stargates in nullsec. They are lawless frontiers, so there is no criminal flagging. That's true. Well, they actually, since this tutorial was written, they've actually broken it down into two types of hostile flagging. The first is known as the suspect flag. When you are flagged as a suspect, other people can shoot you. However, you don't. I believe you can be fired upon by the sentry guns, but Concord doesn't kill you. There are certain actions, however, that will result in you receiving a criminal flag. And when that happens, Concord will show up and they will blow you up. They will jam you, they will scramble you, they will nuke the ever-living piss out of your capacitor, and they will blow you up. And there is literally nothing you can do about it. So be very careful about what you shoot at in HiSec, as Concord may extend their warmest regards with a laser to the face. Deploying a sinusoidal field. Capital ships, the largest in New Eden, do not use Stargates. Instead, they move around by jumping to beacons known as sinusoidal fields. These fields can be deployed by almost any vessel to leave the pilot vulnerable for their duration, which can be as long as 10 minutes. During this time, the ship cannot move, and everyone in the same solar system can see in warp 2 the sinusoidal field it has deployed. Due to the obvious risks involved, many sino fields are open using expendable, insurable Tech 1 frigates manned by pilots who fully expect to lose them. That is indeed correct. In fact, with the proper skill sets, you can actually deploy a sign-off field using a rookie ship now. And that's what I typically use, is a rookie ship. Scouting is scouting. Scouting is always a dangerous job in many situations. A scout may decide to jump into a fleet of overwhelming numbers, even if there's a high probability of losing their ship. For this reason, many scouts use expendable ships to perform their job. Now, for example, if a scout jumps into a gate camp, they may attempt to act as bait and attempt to draw the enemy back to the gate. It's called, you may warp them to burn back to the gate. Since you typically emerge 15 kilometers from the Stargate when you enter a new system, you would burn back to the gate is known as gate crashing. He may tell his fleet to wait on the other side. He burns back to the gate and jumps through because he hasn't attacked anybody in the fleet camping the gate. He burns back. Some of them may take pot shots at him. They may try and use stasis fires to slow him down. But some of them will pursue through, where they become the unwitting targets of the gang on the other side. So that's how you can transition from scouting to baiting. Either way, it's a very good chance you're going to lose your ship because they tend to be small and fast. And you don't go scouting in a battleship. They're just too big and too slow. So we've got that down, so we'll accept the mission. This ship, they're going to have us use a Condor. So of course we're going to assemble and activate the Condor. And we will then insure the Condor. Now, this ship has to destroy one of the ships in the area. So, we're going to go cheap. And we'll fit. Yep. We can't fit turrets on this thing because it's a missile ship. Genius. CCP is so crazy. So I guess we can cover missile weapons. Oh, yeah, and I have some pre-SP to allocate, so that's nice. Right. Okay, I have Missile Launcher Operation 3, light missiles, and I have rockets. So, I can actually buy rocket launchers. I have some light missiles, but not rockets. I will need some rockets. First off, I'm going to go with some Nerd Cheap. No, that's why. You can see the prices are kind of crazy in this market. Because we're in a station system. So I'm going to choose the cheapest one around, which is still a ripoff, but I don't care. Because I don't have to care. we're going to buy 200 rockets. And that should be enough to see us through. Now, keep in mind, we're not expecting any of this stuff to come back. I am intentionally packing light on this ship. Well, I'm never going to get used to the undock, but I can tell. Anyway.
Warp drive active.
Now, as you can see, I'm only using 2 sets of rockets, so I'm really kind of taking a chance with this whole the stand thing, but I'm trying to do it in such a way that use the least amount of material. You can see it's at my max flight time. Oh, because you don't need to worry about optimal range with a missile, you only need to worry about the flight time. 6,480. Even 1 meter beyond that number, and the missile will not reach the target. So we need to keep that in mind. Okay, where's my fighter? I get down fairly quick. Yep, he's getting too far away. Well, I was actually pursuing him. He's getting me pretty good, but I'm worried. Okay, here's where shit gets interesting. As you can see, I've been webbed. It's the icon there. I've been webbed down to 15 kilometers. I am getting webbed to shit. They're outside of my range. There's a whole bunch of crap firing. First off, they're sensor dampening, which means that I'm not going to be able to target them, more than likely. Yeah. Yeah. It's within 3,000 meters of it, which are actually 1,200 meters. That's how badly they're sensor dampening me right now. I literally cannot target stuff like 2 feet in front of my hole.
A lot of damage. There's not really a whole lot I can do about it, because I'm getting dumpstered, because I can't generate any transversal velocity. Aww. And doesn't look like anything. I totally wish I could do something about that, but I can't. As you can see, there are hostiles on the field. NPCs will not fire on pods. However, in nullsec, quite the opposite is true when it comes to enemy players. If you give them a chance, they will pod you, and you will go to a sad place where you have to pay updated clone costs. Thankfully, they're lower than they were. They've reduced them by 30%. So, thank heaven for small favors.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Okay. Anyway, answering newbie questions in local, like a boss. So, we got exploded. That's great. I think we made money on the deal. Just barely. So, that should be it for this mission. This is Virgil 99. I'll see you next time.